Spider-Man trusting Mysterio. Having lost his mentor in Endgame, our friendly neighborhood hero starts far from home with a huge Iron Man-shaped void to fill. His grief and desperate need for a new mentor lead him to befriend the smooth-talking Beck, who swoops in with charisma and just enough fake sincerity to fool everyone in sight. Unlike most bad decisions in the MCU, where others pay the price for the hero's mistakes, Peter got instantly slammed by his. For one, his secret identity gets revealed to the whole world. But what makes matters worse is how Beck unleashes chaos across Europe, turning Spider-Man into public enemy number one. We might blame Peter for handing over one of the most powerful pieces of technology on the planet to a stranger, but you've got to admit that Mysterio fooled everyone. Drax calling Ronan to his location. In the first film in the trilogy, we're introduced to the bumbling buffoon that is Drax the Destroyer. Fueled by the rage of losing his family, Drax knowingly summons Ronan the Accuser to nowhere to challenge him head-on, and it results in one of the saddest fights in the MCU. After getting humiliated by Ronan, what made Drax's defeat more humbling was that he only had his family in mind, and never thought about what would happen to others if Ronan got his hand on an Infinity Stone. That's why it's so satisfying to see him get kicked around like a sock puppet. Throughout the MCU, Drax and Mantis do a lot of funny things that make viewers not take them seriously, like his jokes and calling her ugly. But the one time Drax flipped the switch and became all business, it almost cost the team and many more their lives. Steve Rogers hiding Bucky's secret. The MCU always showed Steve as the good guy, while Tony was supposed to be the douchebag that got in trouble. Turns out that Steve wasn't the saint everyone thought he was when he knew the truth about Tony's parents and still kept it from his friend.
Did you know? I didn't know it was him.
Shut me, Rogers. Did you know? Yes.
Watching Tony's face break when the incriminating tape played was the MCU's most gut-punching moment of honesty. His choice to keep that huge secret was all about protecting his oldest friend. And even though we understand him, the cost was too big. That omission broke the Avengers, leading to the epic fight at the end of Civil War that had Cap and Bucky tag teaming to put Tony out of commission. As if breaking up the team wasn't bad enough, it also left them wide open for the children of Thanos to slowly pick them off one by one. Tony Stark revealing his home address. At the end of the first Iron Man movie, Tony Stark announces to the world that he is Iron Man and doubles down in the next film by exposing his home address.
I'll leave the door unlocked.
You don't need to be a genius to know why superheroes hide their secret identity, but Tony had to learn the hard way. For a man who built his life on intelligence and strategy, it was pure emotion taking the wheel. He wanted to prove he wasn't afraid, but instead, he painted a target on everything he loved. It didn't take long for the missiles to rain down on his Malibu mansion, tearing apart his home, his suits, and nearly killing him and Pepper in the process. Reed Richards revealing Black Bolt's power. In one of the most jaw-dropping mistakes in the universe, Reed Richards, who has been labeled as the smartest man alive,
I'm the smartest man alive, Reed Richards,
says the words Wanda, Black Bolt, could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth. That was meant to be a warning, but all it did was show how stupid he can be sometimes. Seeing how Wanda silenced Black Bolt in the most brutal way possible, it felt like a slap to the face of all fans who believed in his genius. What makes Reed's mistake worse is that he knew about the dangers of someone as powerful as Wanda, having fought against his world's Stephen Strange. This mistake cost him his life in the most brutal and some would say fitting way, as well as the lives of the rest of the Illuminati. Tony Stark creating Ultron. Tony tried to protect the world by building a giant suit of armor around it, but all he did was nearly destroy it instead. Even though the Avengers saved the day, they don't have the best record when it comes to protecting citizens' property. Haunted by the destruction after the Battle of New York, Tony decided to play God one more time by creating something to end all wars.
I'm on a mission.
What mission?
Peace in our time.
Ultron was supposed to be the ultimate peacekeeper, but he ended up seeing humanity as a virus to be wiped out if the planet was going to survive. Not only did that result in a battle that cost the lives of countless civilians and Quicksilver, but that one decision also set off a chain reaction that spanned throughout several movies in the MCU. Wanda hunting down America Chavez. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness picks up right after WandaVision, where Wanda shifts from a beloved Avenger to a full-blown monster. We've seen heroes fall before, but Wanda's downfall stands out for how absurdly irrational it is. Unlike others who turn dark after losing real loved ones, Wanda unleashes chaos over imaginary children she made with magic. She essentially goes on a rampaging manhunt to capture and steal the power of a young woman named America Chavez, a manhunt where she lets nothing and no one get in her way. Unleashing monsters, attacking a wizard sanctuary that resulted in many casualties, and possessing an alternate universe version of herself can all be categorized as an over-the-top meltdown. The same woman who once sacrificed everything to save others now murders and destroys without hesitation. Thor not going for the head. Thor had a very rare opportunity to strike and stop Thanos once and for all in Infinity War. After a long overdue battle that resulted in countless casualties and sacrifices, that window of opportunity opened for a few seconds for the mighty God of Thunder. But instead of going for the head, or even cutting off Thanos' arm, Thor aimed for the chest. He wanted Thanos to see him, to feel that final strike. Thor didn't just want to end Thanos, he wanted revenge for everything he had lost. Unfortunately, that hesitation and that pride gave Thanos enough time to snap his fingers and do what he had set out to do from the beginning. In seconds, half of all life in the universe was gone, and Thor knew that he could have stopped him. His guilt consumed him, turning the God of Thunder into one filled with regret, one who couldn't forgive himself. Peter Parker messing up Doctor Strange's spell. When Doctor Strange started casting the forgetting spell in No Way Home, all Peter had to do was stay quiet. But instead, he kept interrupting, asking Strange to make exceptions for MJ, Ned, Aunt May, one after another. Every change Peter made threw the spell off balance until it finally exploded, tearing open cracks in the multiverse and pulling in multiple dangerous villains from other realities. Unfortunately, this led to the untimely death of Aunt May, the near death of MJ, and the eventual, but also over-the-top resolution that resulted in everyone Peter cared for and everyone who cared for him to forget who he is. What could have been a simple fix became a near worldwide disaster, all because Peter couldn't stop talking. Star-Lord punching Thanos. In a well-planned and collaborated ambush that resulted in Thanos being put to sleep and with the whole team being split seconds away from tearing the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos' hand, it was looking like a victory was inevitable and Thanos would be stopped then and there. This all changed when Star-Lord thought it was a good idea to smack the Mad Titan, breaking the sleep hold that Mantis had over him. Star-Lord's reaction is understandable, as he had just found out that Thanos had killed Gamora. But timing is everything, and his timing was catastrophic. Literally. That move was the MCU's ultimate what-if moment, one that many fans know to be the ultimate blunder. The galaxy might have been a totally different place if he'd waited just a few seconds longer, but alas, we'll never know.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No!